The most famous or infamous game in the last few years has easily been Cyberpunk 2077, with as many problems as it had from release till now. Will GeForce Now be the ultimate gaming solution to play the game at maximum efficiency? GeForce Now can play the game on various devices, including your TV, PC, Chromebook, Android, and iOS devices, so all your devices should be covered. Also know that you need to own the game to play it on this platform, but thankfully GeForce Now supports the game on Steam, Epic Games, and GOG.com with cloud saves. More on that later. Now let's get the ins and outs of playing Cyberpunk 2077 on all tiers of GeForce Now, starting with the free tier.
Looks like you got them all.
The free tier is obviously going to be the tier where most are going to be playing on the service. But will the free tier be worth your time, and can you play well, especially on a mobile device? You might also be wondering whether the free tier of GeForce Now can handle how demanding Cyberpunk really is. Let me put your worries to ease. The benchmark on the free tier runs really well at 1080p. Sure, there's no ray tracing at this tier, but 1080p resolution and close to a 60 FPS is possible on the free tier. Just make sure to turn the max frame rate off and set the resolution to 1080p in the settings. The biggest problems you'll have with the free tier will be the queue wait times and, most importantly, the hour time session. Since GeForce Now has increased its user base by 10 million in the past year, queue wait times have been crazier than Night City. The queue was in the several hundred range. And if you're home for the holidays, expect this number to double easily. Now if you do get into the game, another thing that will hinder your gameplay on the free tier is the hour time limit per session. This one is very important. Managing where you are in the game and saving accordingly is crucial to your progression of the game. You don't want to go the full hour and not have saved and quit the game properly. Why? The only way you can save your progress is syncing your games in the cloud. This can only happen when you quit the game within the game. This way the game closes correctly and GeForce Now can sync it within the cloud. This cannot be accomplished if you go over the time limit and your session ends, or if you forcefully close the GeForce Now app. This gets you into cloud save hell, and you don't want to be in cloud save hell. Your progress could be lost for good. Remember, this goes for all tiers. Now, how much does getting the priority tier help with any of these free tier drawbacks? With the priority tier, you still get a max resolution of 1080p, and the graphic settings are slightly upgraded, and you'll have access to ray tracing. You also won't have to worry about that hour time limit. You will get a 6-hour limit on this tier for a nice, long, lengthy game session. Plus, you won't have to rush and be able to save and quit properly on your own terms. Now, what about that queue? For the most part, getting the priority tier should allow you to bypass the queue. But remember what I said, GeForce Now is getting very popular, and recently, even the paid tiers had some wait times, especially at peak hours. I think I had to wait about 10 minutes this time during this session. It's not as bad as hundreds, but it's worrisome that this is happening. Granted, it's usually pretty rare. Now, would the ultimate tier help with this even further? The short answer is yes. The ultimate tier hardware is different than the other tiers altogether, so wait times are virtually non-existent. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The ultimate tier most definitely lives up to its name, especially with Cyberpunk. The ultimate tier allows true hardcore gamers to play the game on your high-end gaming monitors for maximum performance. Are you looking to experience the incredible ray tracing Cyberpunk visuals in 4K? Are you dying to play on an ultra-wide monitor? Then the ultimate tier is where you need to be. With the conjunction of over 120 FPS and reflex, playing Cyberpunk on the GeForce Now Ultimate tier is one of the best ways to play the game, period. Now that patch 1.62 has released overdrive mode, these words couldn't be ever more true. Normal gaming PCs need to have at least an RTX 4070 Ti or 3090. This is where the GeForce Now Ultimate 4080 SuperPods come into play. But even GeForce Now struggles to keep up with the insane RTX demands overdrive mode requires, especially at 4K. Now, if you're wondering what the hype is all about with overdrive is, it's an additional graphics setting preset which takes the Ultra preset and adds new ray tracing technology, path tracing, which improves the physics of the lighting quality. Let's give it a go. My 4080 benchmark with overdrive was surprisingly good, almost too good. And look, they finally exposed the true GPU name. Let's take this to the streets to get a more accurate representation. Gameplay looks spectacular. 4K quality at night during combat couldn't look any better, but that FPS takes a massive hit. The benchmark was wrong. FPS gets cut in half. Now if I turn back to the Ultra preset, things look pretty similar, and I get my FPS back to about 120. Plus, one thing I noticed immediately is that my controller delay is much better on Ultra. The overdrive input lag was very noticeable. Here's the combat side by side.
I'm reloading!
Here's another test. Check out these reflections on this really cool crosswalk. You see the difference? Yeah, neither do I. But how about that crisp, drinkable Night City body of water? What's that, IGN? 7.8? The water doesn't look different? How dare you? But you'd finally be right. I'm not gonna lie, people. Overdrive is an impressive graphical feat. But I'm not about to sacrifice almost half my frames for maybe a 10% graphical boost. For now, I'm gonna be sticking with the Ray Tracing Ultra preset because it already looks really good, and I enjoy playing at 4K at 120Hz. But you be the judge. What you play at is completely up to you. Now if you're ready to try out Overdrive at 4K yourself, and you have the Ultimate tier, make sure you set the correct settings for your resolution and monitor refresh rate. Also know that if you want to go 4K, you will need at least a Pascal grade video card, a GTX 1000 series, to handle the 4K video decoding process. You can also use the Nvidia Shield TV Pro and the Samsung Gaming Hub on select 2022 models to stream 4K on your TV. If not, you'll have to settle for 1440p resolution even if you have a 4K monitor. Be aware this is also a requirement for ultra-wide monitors. Overall, GeForce Now is an excellent choice to get some of the most impressive gameplay and visuals ever seen on Cyberpunk 2077. Sure, Overdrive is new, but the GeForce Now Ultimate tier can handle it, and it only costs $20 a month. It would take just about the cost of 4 years of the Ultimate tier just to get a 4070 Ti. Sounds like a steal to me. Last thing, don't forget to make sure that you have decent internet. I would have a minimum download speed of 50 megabits per second for priority members, and 100 megabits per second for the Ultimate tier for maximum bitrate streams, especially if you live with others using the internet. If you like this overview of Cyberpunk 2077 on GeForce Now for all tiers, feel free to give us a like. Also, make sure to join as a member of the channel or join our Patreon in the links below. And above all else, make sure to subscribe to keep it locked right here at the only place where you can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle.